What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Wandering Aces. We have a special guest with us today. Some friends we met on the road, and they are called the RVSWAT, and we'll ask them a little bit later what that stands for. We have Johnny and Tracy.
Hey.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. We're just having a little round table conversation with Johnny and Tracy. I want to ask them a few questions about the RV life, how they got into it, what made them do this, and they're here with us today. So Johnny, my first question to you and Tracy is, how did you get here?
Well, I was in corporate America, like most of us, I guess, and after working for 20 years in the industry, coming home stressed out every day, I finally just decided that it's got to be something more to life than just money, right? So we talked and tried to figure out what we can do to have a less stressful life, and we come across full-time RVing. Just Google search one day, come across the lifestyle, found what's called work camping, and after about 2 weeks of research,
2 whole weeks.
Yeah, didn't take long. After about 2 weeks of research, we sold everything we own and hit the road and never looked back.
What made you want to do that? You stress, you think, more than anything?
I think stress more than anything. I've been kind of nomadic by nature to begin with. Even in my industry, I was always climbing that rung of the ladder because it always moved me. And I think I enjoyed that moving around. So the combination of the stress from the industry and knowing that I already enjoyed different sceneries a lot, so kind of how to get the best of both worlds is to leave the corporate job behind, get rid of the stress, and then find a way to make a living and just move around doing it. So,
well, when you go on vacation and you're still expected to answer your phone, that
not
was
much of a vacation.
Yeah, that I couldn't handle that.
It got pretty bad. The last couple years of the career, once it hit salary, then it turned into 60, 70, 80-hour weeks, 24/7 really, with the phone attached to the side.
Your family's not your life anymore. Your job becomes your life.
Exactly.
And
take a cruise out of the country, and the company pays for the international calling on your phone, so you can still answer it in another country. Yeah, that's
not gonna happen anymore.
Yeah, a little much.
It seems like the work environment that most people are in, is very stressful. Very stressful.
So I think it's a combination of the stress and then just realizing one day, waking up and realizing that life's not about the money and the material things, which is kind of what we're programmed to believe. I think we're programmed to think get the nice house, get the white picket fence, get the toys, get debt is kind of how we're trained. And finally just realizing one day that there's more to life than just material things. So once we got rid of all the possessions and started collecting memories instead of possessions, then
our motto actually became life's about experiences, not about stuff.
Yeah.
What is the RVSWAT? What exactly does that mean? That's a lot of people that go out on the road full time. They start a YouTube channel and they do a creative name.
Right.
Ours is Wandering Aces. We just two people that's wandering around, enjoying life.
Ours is from, I realize, being still young, we're in our 40s, and
that's Gadget.
My dog was gonna say hello.
Hey, Gadget.
But being in our 40s, we realize that the only way to do this lifestyle is we're still gonna have to work.
We are not
we don't
retired.
have retirement. I don't have a bundle of money sitting aside. We still live paycheck to paycheck. We have to work as we're out here, so we have to do seasonal work, right? Which is hence the SWAT, seasonal work and travel.
Okay,
is what it stands for.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it kind of fit nicely, so we rode with it.
Tracy, I have a question for you. What was the first thing that came into your mind when Johnny displayed this for you? This kind of life.
Most people think that I probably would have been like, what are you talking? No, whatever. When he came home one day and he said, what would you think about selling everything, me quitting my job, us hitting the road in an RV full time and just doing seasonal jobs everywhere, I said, that could work.
Yeah.
And he said, good, we have 2 RVs to look at this weekend. I've already been looking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'd already had it set up to go look at RVs that weekend.
He'd
I
been
knew she
looking
was
at
gonna
RVs
go
for
it.
weeks.
Yeah. I knew she was going to go for it because she's the same as me.
Well,
I was tired of his job before he was, so I think that's why he knew that. Because when he had to answer his phone one day at supper, the rule at my house was always no phones at the table. So when he wasn't even on call one day and his phone went off, there was an email, well, he ignored it, he wasn't on call. 10 minutes later, when he was finished, he checked it and he responded to the email, and his supervisor told him, or his supervisor called him and said, what took you so long to respond? He said, I was eating dinner. And his supervisor said on speakerphone, I don't want to hear that.
It's unacceptable.
That it's unacceptable. You need to answer faster. I said, no, sir.
You know, that's terrible,
done.
but that's the way life is.
It
now.
is.
So
It's
that, I
just
think
a-
that's
it's a
why he
rat
knew
race.
I was going to
Yeah.
go for it. But yeah, I said, yeah, let's do it.
So,
Well,
so
I want to
again,
commend you for taking that step, because it's nice to see people fighting against the traditional lifestyle.
and like I said, I don't say any of this to offend or to knock the industries or to knock our
Right,
society.
right.
It's just, it got to a point in my life to where it didn't fit my life anymore.
Yeah.
So, you know, to each his own. You know, if you're happy in that corporate life
Sure.
and you're happy with that, that's my point is, if you're happy, do what makes you happy.
I know
But if
some
you're
folks
not
that
happy,
love
fine.
working, that
Yeah,
absolutely
absolutely.
love it.
That's
Yeah.
their
Johnny
life.
More
loves to
the
work
better.
too, but he also loves his family and he
Right.
loves family time.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was about for us.
Well, there has to be a balance, and I don't think people have that balance anymore.
Not anymore.
And I know there's some people that don't want that balance. They want to work. They
Yeah.
just
Right.
love, and that's great. There's nothing wrong
That's
with
fine,
that.
and that's how my career started out, was chasing the dollar. But like I said,
Right.
after a while, I realized that I was chasing the wrong thing. You know, I had a dollar amount, right? You know, I was like, you know, everybody's chasing a 6-figure income. You know,
Right.
they get it. You know, so from a small child, you know, you just chase, and then
You buy more,
you buy more, right? So I finally hit that number that I was aiming for
And then
as
it
a
goes to a
household
higher number.
income. And then, I need more. So then I hit a higher number. And then we realized, okay, now I realize it doesn't matter how high I set this number. All I'm going to do is offset it with the material stuff that I'm buying
Right.
anyway.
Right.
And
And
I'm
it still
just
doesn't
not
always
happy.
make you happy.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Why do we
Yeah.
have this big house? None of the kids are at home anymore. We're not using over half of our house,
Yeah.
but it's
Right.
full of
So it was-
stuff that we're not using.
Yeah,
Well-
it was all that combined into one just came to a head.
Brenda and I we're part-time. We travel 6-8 months out of the year. But when we're home, we stay in 3 rooms of our home.
Yeah.
Living
Three
room,
rooms.
kitchen,
Living room,
and
kitchen, and
bedroom,
bedroom.
There's 2 rooms in my home that I haven't been in probably a year.
Yeah.
And that was just to go in and make sure that the windows wasn't leaking, the roof, you know. It's amazing that we have all this stuff, and we put ourselves through the torture, I call it torture, of buying all this stuff and having to work 60, 70 hours a week to pay for it. You never have any time to enjoy it.
We know how I realize we really enjoy this lifestyle is, and my stress is completely gone, is I always went to work. I would come home for the weekend, right? You shoot for Fridays. Friday's the weekend,
Oh,
weekend
yeah.
is here, you know, oh, hallelujah, the weekend, right? And then Sunday comes and it was, oh God, tomorrow's Monday, right?
Couldn't
But then-
enjoy Sunday for
Right.
Monday.
Within the last year of my career, it got to where I couldn't enjoy Saturday anymore, and I couldn't
Because
enjoy
you knew
Friday
what was
because I was
coming.
already dreading Monday.
I understand.
So when I start dreading Monday, before I even enjoy my
Exactly.
weekend, it's time for a change.
We have a lot in common because
Yeah.
I felt the same way. It's amazing.
Exactly
that,
the same way.
exactly
And
the same.
we hit the road, and now, not only do I half the time don't even know what day it is, so I can't dread Monday because I don't even know what day it is.
It's so
But,
nice though.
You know, we had a medical scare last year with my, you know, I
This
had,
year, not
this
last
year.
year.
Yeah, January. I had open heart surgery. You know, so a lot of, you know, wrenches thrown into the
He
program
didn't even
here.
stress over that though.
But I didn't.
I did.
mean, I was smiling the whole time in the hospital. You know why? Because if this would have happened when I was working, everything on the back of my mind would
trying to
be,
get caught up at work.
Trying to get caught
how
on
long
bills.
are they going to get me off of work before they fire me?
Right.
You know, are they going to hold my job for me? Oh, I got a 6
Are we
month
gonna be able to
recovery.
pay our bills?
Do I get a
Very
paycheck
stressful.
while I'm out? And all that would bother. It would have just been terrible. I went to the hospital. They told me I needed open heart surgery. I'm like,
Okay.
you know what? I don't have to go to work tomorrow. I can go to work when I want to. So yeah, do what you got to do. You know, well, you're gonna need 6 months recovery.
Okay.
No problem. I'll take 6 months off.
Well, you know what? You can look at that as a blessing. It was the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
You got your problem all fixed up. You're not in the sticks and bricks anymore.
Right.
You're out on the road. So it's like rebirth. I
Yeah.
guess
Yeah.
you'd say.
Exactly. That's
I
what she called.
actually,
Yeah.
January the 7th
It's my new
of
birthday.
every year is his rebirthday.
Yeah.
And it's easy for me to remember because if you know Bill and Darla from Economic Refugees.
Oh, yeah.
January 7th is Darla's birthday.
Oh, wow.
So now I say Johnny and
We share a
Darla have the
birthday.
same birthday because his rebirthday is on her
Right.
birthday.
That's awesome.
So every January 7th now, he has 2 birthdays, January and April.
I look at my me selling the business and retiring. That June the 19th of 2019 was my last day. It's like a birthday
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, it's what it seems like.
Right, it really does.
It's-
Life
it's
started
so-
fresh.
It's so. That was all the questions I had. It's just so relieving, though.
That's the word
it's
I was
like
about
your
to say.
whole mind, and it's like you're in touch with yourself. Where when you were working, it was so stressful, and it was like everything was just.
When you're working, it feels like you can't get ahead.
And you know what's funny is, you
And now that
know,
we're not working, we're getting ahead.
but what's funny, we sit here, we talk like we're retired, we talk like we don't work.
Yeah.
But what's
Right.
funny is we work.
Right.
I mean, we work 90% of the year. We work, but 2 things. Number 1, we choose the jobs we want to do, which makes a big
Under our
difference.
terms.
And then number 2, none of the contracts that we do are more than like 3 months. So like I told Tracy when we hit the road and started this lifestyle, if we walk
see
into
it.
a job and it is just a miserable job, like we can't
And walk
stand this
right back
job,
out.
it's only 3
It's only
months.
3 months.
Oh, that's true too.
If-
So we can either
Yeah,
walk
if
back,
I could
walk out
handle-
if it's that bad, or we can see the light at the end of the
Yeah.
tunnel.
That's
I
my
can
saying.
handle-
Is that light at the end of the tunnel?
I can
You
handle
see it.
anything for 3 months. If I work the job I had for 20 years, I can handle anything for 3 months. So it doesn't matter how bad the job
This is
is.
true.
It's only 3 months, and then we're back on the road enjoying life. And like she said, we knock on wood, it hasn't happened yet. But if it is so bad that we can't handle 3 months, you
That's
crank
why
the
our house
engine,
has an engine.
You crank the engine. We go on workcamper.com and go, we need something else. And then who's hiring immediately? Okay, let's drive there. And then we go get another job.
Well, okay, like when we were at Sugar Beets this past year in October was when we found out that Christmas trees fell through. We were supposed to go to California and work a Christmas tree lot. Well, they sold the lot and notified us mid-October, and we were supposed to be there mid-November. And
we had nothing to do.
within 3 days, we had another job.
Oh, that's good.
Let's explain to our viewers that whenever it's RV life talk, we did beats, we did Christmas trees. We need to explain to the
Okay.
guys out there what that is.
So what we do is what's called work camping. Now, if you look up a technical meaning to work camping, right? A lot of people will tell you what work camping is. You work at a campground and exchange your labor hours for a site for your RV.
That's
what
not
traditional
true
work camping
anymore.
is. That's not true anymore. Our definition of work camping is you live in an RV, you work out of an RV, and you travel around, and you work a job, period. You're
Not
work
necessarily a camp.
not necessarily a campground. What we look for, and we're even a little more open-minded now that we've been doing this almost, a year and a half, going on 2 years now. At first we said, it's any job that we can do where they pay for our RV spot is work camping. Now we're even more open-minded.
I'm willing to trade a few hours.
I can go to Midland, Texas, and I can rent an RV park by the month, right? So I can rent a spot for the month out of my own pocket, and then I can go do DoorDash. I'm still work camping.
DoorDash in Midland, Texas will
Yeah,
more
so
than
DoorDash
pay.
is a food delivery. If you don't know what DoorDash is,
I
you
didn't know what I was
Yeah,
just
so
gonna ask you
it's
what
an
it
app
is.
on your phone. You go pick up food and deliver it to people. It's like a pizza delivery boy, but you might go to 15 different restaurants. But I'm working. I'm living in an RV, and I'm only going to be here a couple months. To me, that's work
That's
camping.
work
Right.
camping.
So that's what we do. We work the majority of the year, but whereas when I had my corporate job, I look forward to 3 weeks vacation a year. So I was stressed out all year to enjoy 3 weeks out of the year. In this lifestyle, we don't stress at all. We do the jobs we want to do, but we take 3-4 months off a year. Right now we're on 2-month vacation, right? If you want to call it. It's just we don't have a job lined up for 2 months, so we call it a vacation. And
But
then,
it's not that we couldn't get a job. We
no,
chose
we
not
chose,
to
yeah, we
get a
chose
job
to
right
take
now.
2 months off, which is the beautiful part about this lifestyle, is being pretty much debt free. I don't have to work the hours I used to work, and I don't have to make the money I used to make. I can go work for 3 months, and without having any expenses, now I have enough money in the bank to take 3 months off.
And you're actually living better than you were in sticks and bricks.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Whenever Tracy mentioned beets, that is a
That's an actual job. So beets is a sugar beet harvest job. is
For
what
those
it
of you
is.
who are unaware, sugar doesn't just come from sugar cane.
Yeah, we thought it always came from sugar cane,
It
but
comes from sugar beets.
they process granulated sugar, table sugar, from beets. It's called a sugar
It's
beet.
a sugar beet. It's a
And-
white beet, not a red beet.
and that's
Right.
a work
I was
camping
thinking
job.
It's a work camping job. They
One of our
harvest the beets.
videos shows
How long
Johnny
does that
tasting one.
that particular job? How long does that last?
2 weeks to a month.
Yeah. So
You can make a few $1,000s in a couple of weeks.
for a couple, anywhere from $4,000 to $7,000 in a couple weeks.
So see, guys, there
Yeah.
is a way to get out there and
Absolutely.
not kill yourself. Basically, you need 3 or 4 things in life: food, water, shelter, and transportation. Those things are not free.
Right.
You can choose to live in an RV versus a $500,000 home.
Right.
And you're traveling and seeing the country, and you're not stressed out. And you mentioned
And you're
Christmas
not married
trees.
to your
Right.
house.
I know you guys out there have seen Christmas tree lots. We have them around our home, and
And
there's
they
always a
always have an
camper.
RV.
There's an RV there.
Yeah.
So that's somebody that's doing a work camping job to sell Christmas trees.
They're
And
staying.
they do it with pumpkins as well.
They do
Yeah.
it with pumpkins. I've seen that. So there's many different jobs. I know when Tracy said that, as maybe some of you guys
Yeah.
didn't know.
we
It
use-
took me a little
yeah.
while in the beginning. What they talking about?
Yeah, so there's
beets?
some.
What
There's
you mean
some.
when you work
What-
beets?
Yeah.
What
There's
about
some,
trees?
There's some key jobs out there in the work camping world, and your so-called big money jobs, right? So it's your beets, your trees, your gate guarding.
guarding.
You know that's your high dollar items. That's the tickets that you can go in and work short periods of time and bank enough money to take time off.
Yeah.
These campground jobs.
Those are our sightseeing
Yeah,
jobs.
we treat those, our summer job, we treat as our sightseeing job. So the way we do summers is we decide what part of the country we want to be in for the summer. Do we want to be at the Grand Canyon all summer? Do we want to be in Yellowstone? Do we want to be at Mount
You find a
Rushmore?
work camping job that
And
suits
then
in
we
that
find,
area.
right.
and
So we
that's where you
say
go.
last summer we're like, oh, dying to see Mount Rushmore. We want to go to Mount Rushmore. Okay, let's apply at work camping jobs in that area. And that one you get your, like we got a typical campground job. We worked at the restaurant at the campground, and it's not a big money job.
But our
it-
site
but it
was
gets
paid
us by.
for.
Site's free. You know, you make enough money to make it through the summer. You enjoy, you sightsee on your days off. You enjoy life. And then when the summer's over, you go back to your big ticket items,
And
your beets,
also-
your Amazon, your gate guarding. You know.
And when you're hired on as work campers, they hire you as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
So our resume is on workcamper.com as a couple. So they hire you as a couple, and they give you the same days off because you're a couple and you want to go and sightsee together. So your schedule usually stays the same as the other person.
That
For
is
my
great.
viewers that's out there, what would you say? How hard or easy is it to get one of these jobs?
Okay, I love explaining this question, right? I tell people all the time, this is how you have to look at it. When you're in job hunting mode, right? And I know it's been a long time since you hunted for a job, but just
But
think
I've been
back.
there.
You've been there, right?
Yep.
When you're hunting for a job, you live here, right? I'm willing to commute
This
here,
far.
right? So my job search is in this area, where there's only this many jobs in that area, right? As a work camper,
The
our job
whole
search is
United
the whole
States.
United States.
Pick and choose
You
wherever
can
you
pick
want
and
to go.
choose where you want to go.
They call
and
us.
if you
And
think,
there's always work there.
always. So if you think you're job hunting in an area this big, and everyone seems to find a job, right? Most
Right.
people work if you choose
not
to.
be what you
May
want.
not be what you
Right.
want, but you can find a job there. So if you go on 5 interviews in this 5 square mile radius from your house, you get 5 job interviews. Imagine how many you can get in
the
a
whole
5,000
United
square mile
Right.
radius. And that's how I explain it to people. You know, your spectrum and broad scope of the jobs you're looking for is just wide open. So we turn down more jobs than we accept. We
We're
don't even apply
constantly-
anymore.
Yeah, we're constantly getting emails and phone calls, hey, I saw your resume on workcamper.com. We would like to speak to you if this
We
is
got one
something
the
you're
other day
interested
when we pulled
in.
up at lunch. We had just got an email, a job offer in Rawlings,
Wyoming?
Montana,
Montana.
Wyoming, something. But
Yeah,
now
I
that
remember that.
Now that we've been
Jason's
doing
telling
this for a
us.
while, we don't apply for jobs anymore.
You guys must have had a lot of money to get started in this lifestyle. That's what everybody thinks.
Yes, it is.
Now that you
So-
got a pocket full of money
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything's honky-dory,
So,
and
you know, in all honesty, I thought the same thing when I started researching this. I'm like,
I think everybody does.
I thought when I started researching this, I thought I was researching what I was going to do in the future. Or I thought, you know, let me see how much money I need to save up before I can do this. And then I realized it doesn't take, it's hard to explain, right? You look at somebody that's making, we call good money, right? And then you look at somebody that's not making good money, you know, getting by. Well, you adjust your way of living to get by with what you're making, right? So I will say that. Am I living materialistically
No.
as I was whenever I was working? No,
But you're living large.
but I'm living large. You know,
Yeah.
I don't have the side by side, the big toys. You know, I don't have all these things that I've spent all my paychecks on before. But what I do have is memories. We make memories every single day in our travels. So we always say now we're money poor, but we're memory rich. You know, and
Now
that's kind
instead
of
of
what we
buying-
go
That's,
for.
to me,
Yes.
that's well worth it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So we live paycheck to paycheck right now, right? We live job to job, we'll call it, not even paycheck to paycheck. I go and work a job. That job gives me enough money to take a month or 2 months off. The way we work now that we're kind of used to this, we crank up from that job, we got money in the bank, and we go. You know when we go to work?
When we run out
When
of
the
money.
bank account's empty. Or when it starts getting low and we're like, oh, time to go back to work.
But what do you call
So-
rich? A peace of mind or all that money?
Yeah, peace of mind.
Peace of
to me.
mind.
Me too.
Freedom.
Peace of mind.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
freedom.
And you know, we had to adjust from buying stuff for our house. We still want stuff,
Sure.
but our
It's
stuff,
different.
yeah, our stuff has gone from knickknacks
You
and
want the
side by
cell
sides and
booster
everything.
for your phone.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
we've gone to magnets.
Yeah, we collect magnets
We
everywhere
collect
as
magnets
we
and Christmas ornaments everywhere we go, and they've got to be small because your Christmas tree can only be this big.
go. You know what? That $2 magnet over there for, let's say, Badlands National Park, right?
Yeah.
I look at that $2 magnet and I remember
I
$1,000
remember that
worth
day.
of memories
Yep.
from whenever we toured that area and we done all that. To us, that's what it's about. Every time we go to that refrigerator, we see a place that we've been. And we remember, remember when we went to that mountain
Remember-
and we rode that
Yep.
ride, you know, and
Or
those
remember
types of
when we
things.
walked straight uphill to get to that cemetery in Deadwood?
Yeah, you know,
And that is the most, that's a whole lot more important than
absolutely.
the things that
Exactly.
you buy with money that you have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's a question that I like to ask people that's in this lifestyle of being free and traveling around and work camping and enjoying life and seeing the scenery is what is the best thing that you've got out of all of this, from the old lifestyle of living sticks and bricks to where you are now?
That's a good question. A lot. I got a lot out of this. I would say the main thing is it took me a while to learn that we all need to be enjoying life. You need to be free from whatever burdens are bothering you. You know, everybody has their own burdens. Yours may not be your job. That might not be what's bothering you. But whatever has you stressed out, whatever is holding you down in life, break free from it and go enjoy life. Whatever you have to do to get there,
You
that's
got one shot at it.
that's it.
We don't get to
That's
retake.
it.
I
Absolutely.
honestly thought, I was afraid to tell my parents that we were going to be doing this. And I think we had gotten to Mom and Dad's house before I finally made the decision that yes, I was going to tell them. And I was terrified. I just thought for sure they were going to be like, what in the world are you
Right.
doing? We raised you better. But they were excited. And I thought, you know, well, I'm not going to be near them, and they're getting older. They're in their 70s. Dad's had open heart surgery. He's had strokes. He's had heart attacks. But they're happy for us. So I think that
And
was
that
when I
was-
started
Yeah.
feeling more comfortable.
And that
with
was
it.
a perk that I enjoyed, you know, when we got to go tell our parents, because we didn't get to tell my parents,
Yeah.
because my parents are gone, right? Which is another thing that got me leaning toward this, and what made me make that leap and what made it easier for me is remembering the conversations I had with my dad before he died, that, you know, we would sit outside after he would get in from work. I lived right across the street from my dad until he died. And we would get home from work, and I can remember countless nights that we sat outside, and his conversation was, when I retire, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And what really breaks my heart is the last 2 years of his life, I watched him sit there and calculate on paper, if I retire right now, this is what my check will be. But if I do 5 more years, this is what my check will be. Now I know it doesn't make a damn what that check's going to be.
Because he didn't make it.
Because he didn't make it to see it.
Didn't make it.
So it doesn't matter. Don't sit there and calculate.
Right. There's never a right time.
Well, I'm going to tell you something.
That's right.
It was a $400 a month difference that kept him from retiring. If I work 5 more years, I'll make another $400 a month. And he died before he can do any of it. And that's what kind of made my decision a lot easier when I decided to do this.
4 years later.
Yeah, 4 years later, my mom died. And I told her when I started talking about this, I said, I am not going to sit back and die with no memories, no nothing. I mean, no enjoyment in life. I'm not going to do it. I watched my dad do it. I'm not going to do it. Yeah. And that's kind of how we really hit the road.
Do you see yourselves still in this lifestyle 5 years from now?
Absolutely. Yeah. I see, in all honesty, I see myself in this lifestyle until my body will not let me do it anymore. Mm-hmm. Meaning, when I can't get up and down the 3 steps to get into the RV, you know, the work will never bother me.
Retire to the Escapees Park.
The care program.
Live in the care program. If you haven't heard of that, look into that. Because you can still live in your RV and they have somebody come and take care of you, do your laundry.
It's basically retirement for full-time RVers.
It's retirement for full-time RVers.
3 meals a day, laundry, and you live in your RV. But
nurses on site.
I'm hoping I don't have to deal with that till a long time. But in all honesty, I'm going to do this as long as I can. And as far as for the work goes, I would have to be in really bad shape not to, like we do gate guarding, right? I would have to be in really bad shape not to be able to handle gate guarding.
You have to be on life support, not gate guarding.
I mean, you can do gate guarding with a walker and a cane. So I mean, it's the easiest job you'll ever see. So with that being said, the money's always going to be there. The money that we need, you know, we don't need much. So at that age, you know, if I'm thinking if I make it that long to 70, 75 years old, at that point, I'm just going to have to go work 2 or 3 months a year at gate guarding, then I can take the rest of the year off.
And I said that when he kicks it, and my daddy kicks it, me and my mom will hit the road together, and our middle son will be our driver. Because I have a feeling that the men are going to go before we do.
I got to show everybody. It's not a beer.
No, it's not a beer.
No.
Coke Zero, caffeine free.
Coke Zero.
Caffeine free Coke
Zero. No, because I got to walk through the cameras to get there.
Well, I really do thank you for sitting down with us today and telling us a little bit about your story and I guess your end message to the viewers out there would be.
My end message is do what makes you happy in life. I'm not trying to change anybody's life. I'm not trying to push any lifestyle on anybody. I just want everyone to be happy with what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So if you can honestly look in the mirror and honestly say you're happy, and what I mean by honestly is I know a lot of people can look in the mirror and lie to themselves. Oh yeah, I'm happy. No, you got to live with that answer, right? So if you can honestly look in the mirror and say you're happy, then do what you're doing. But if there's anything keeping you from being happy, analyze it, change it, and make yourself happy and enjoy life. That's my biggest thing.
Well, I'll tell you about this community, guys, is that we watch a lot of YouTube channels about RVing and traveling, and that's how we met Johnny and Tracy, was in this lifestyle. There's a lot of great people out there that's doing this. You can do this too if you choose to do so.
Right.
We're not trying to force anybody into doing something they don't want to do. We're not trying to preach to you to go get an RV and go see the countryside. We're telling you that there is a change in life. This is one way to do it.
Yep, absolutely.
And you can do it with crazy pets.
Yeah.
Yes. This one's lazy right now.
Well, Johnny and Tracy, Brenda, you have any other questions?
This is Gadget.
Yeah, we got Sophie
Gadget.
and Gadget.
Hey, Gadget.
Brenda, you have any more questions?
No.
All right,
I just would like to let everybody know that since we're only doing it part-time, but as soon as we get home from one place, we're there 1 or 2 days and we're ready to go again.
Yeah.
It's called Hitch Itch.
Yes.
Hitch, that's very true.
And I don't think we'll lose that. I really don't.
You don't,
And
yeah.
eventually it may turn into full time for us. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Brenda and I are not rich. We're very fortunate in our life, but we plan
We've been very lucky.
We plan to get some more camping jobs out there. I know there's other alternatives
Yeah.
than the traditional lifestyle
Yes.
of coming home every day and being stressed. And like you say, I had the same feelings Saturday morning. Saturday at lunchtime, you're worrying about Monday morning going
Yeah.
to work,
Yes.
and that is when it's really, really bad.
Yep.
But I wanted to share Tracy and Johnny's stories with you guys, and we appreciate you listening, and we hope you get something out of the video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and please go check out RV SWAT. Just
Yeah.
go to YouTube, do a search of RV SWAT, and they have lots of videos, a lot of great informational videos and entertaining videos.
Link in the bottom.
There will be a link in the bottom. You guys have a great day, and as always, we'll check you later.
Have a good
Bye.
one.